Hello, everyone. Things have been weird. You get a nice... I don't have, a face cam or anything to show off. I don't have a webcam at all to use. So I guess while I have nothing to show you, you get a nice plain view of my messy messy ass display. This is, of course, my display 1. My other 2 displays are pretty clean, but my standard scene is display 1, so you get all my icons, you get all the shit that that I use, and a lot of shit that I don't use. Yeah, so this is the first and probably only, for a while at least, Praxis Day. What's supposed to happen is we're supposed to have Praxis Night on Friday nights. That didn't work out. I was doing a thing on Friday night. Then I was supposed to do Minecraft on Saturday. That also didn't work. Too busy, couldn't stream. So now I am doing Praxis Day today, and I might come back later to either do DBD or something else. Haven't decided yet. I really don't know how I'm gonna make up for this. Tomorrow, though, normal Dark Souls stream. That's how it's working out. But I've got a couple things I want to talk about today. And I think this was primarily inspired by my good friend Shanley over at Shanley LM. On her stream, we got to talking about hate symbols. Well, I kind of brought the topic up, but I understand that if you're familiar with debate tubers or debate streamers such as Vaj, Sanderhall, Destiny, The Surfs, Mouthy Infidel, stuff like that, you are familiar with hate symbols. You are familiar with far-right dog whistles. But while I was talking to Shanley, it occurred to me that, more moderately politically inclined people, even people who consider themselves center-left or don't really know where they stand, but who use the internet a lot, still aren't going to be familiar with hate symbols, and I think it's really important to know about. So I decided we're going to go over some today. Let's get something up. I have a list of what I think are the most common hate symbols that you'll come across online, especially with the United States being what it is, and we're going to come back to that in a bit. But with the United States being what it is, with the far right becoming louder and louder, you need to know, and you're probably going to come across some of these symbols and phrases. So you need to know what you're looking out for. You need to know when you've stumbled across a white supremacist group or a neo-Nazi group, and knowing what these are going to help you do that. So, without further ado, let's get to the first one on my list, which is the echo. It is also known as the triple parentheses. This is what it looks like. You'll see over here, that's what it looks like. And it, of course, explains in the Wikipedia article, I think it first... Okay, PRAXIS originated with alt-right affiliated neo-Nazi blog The Right Stuff. I thought it was on Daily Showa. But who hosts that? Okay, it was founded by Mike Enoch, who also does Daily Showa. So, that's where it came from. Its purpose is to denote jury. Not jury as in a jury of your peers, but jury. Like, it's an anti-Semitic practice, as you can see on the Wikipedia article. It is meant to denote Jews. It's meant to mark Jews in online conversation. So you'll see it written kind of like this. Give me a second. You can tell I didn't. You can tell I'm really prepared all the time. So you'll see it. Let's crank the size up. Like you'll see something like them, the Jews, they control civilization, something like that. It's also used to surround names, like I don't know. It's a really, like, I don't know. George Soros is obviously Jewish. And let's actually come back to that, because that's an important thing to note. But George Soros is Jewish. When neo-Nazis are talking about Jewish people, they will invoke their names and surround it by an echo to know that you're talking about the Jews, and this relates to the JQ, the Jewish question, which is, of course, a far-right conspiracy theory. It was the basis of the Nazi Party in Germany. It was the whole reason they operated the way they did. And the Jewish question just states that Jewish people have a cabal that are controlling the earth, that are controlling the world. They're controlling civilization. Hey, Steve, what's up? I'm just doing a political stream here. I'm discussing hate symbols. I'm educating on hate symbols and how to watch out for them and what they mean if you find them. So we're talking about the echo or the triple parentheses right now. So yeah, meant to denote when neo-Nazis are talking about Jews is they will surround words like them, who, they, or just names of people in the triple parentheses. When you come across that, go on. Let's see if we can actually find an example of this in action. I think I know exactly what video to look for. Who are the most powerful people in America?
If someone's...
Were they deleted? I'm sure we can find an example of it here. Because even in like more tame conservative circles, you can find use of the echo. Because not that PragerU is that tame, it's really bad stuff. It kind of lends itself as a really good stepping stone to far right ideology. So shit, I knew it was here. I knew it was here. I should have looked for it beforehand, but we get to pad out the time by looking for it on here. Damn. I knew. Maybe it was deleted. Maybe they got banned. Can we sort by newest? What is this? Okay, I'm not interested in clicking on that. Oh, okay. There we go. We got some JQ, but it's not the use of the echo I was looking for. I don't know. Maybe we need to watch the video for that? I don't know. Conservatives are really fucking weird. There might be an easier way to do this, but I'm looking for, like, real-world examples. Not that, like, you're bound to come across the echo. Like, not that you're bound or guaranteed to come across these, but they're common enough that, like, I came across them. So, stop it. Here's an example of it being used. Here's to all the American, German, and British heroes who died. American, German, and British heroes who died June 6, 1944, fighting a pointless war brought on by globalists. Here is a good example. Another rabbi celebrates destruction of the white race. Yeah, and we're gonna come back to this. But yeah, there we go. There are some examples of it in use. Good examples, too. You'll find when neo-Nazis are referring to Jews, they will surround it in the echo. Now, that is not to say that it hasn't been used ironically or in an attempt to reclaim it. There are some, especially Jewish people on Twitter, you'll find their names are surrounded in an echo. That is an attempt to devalue the echo and make it into a pointless phrase so the alt-right can't use it, but they still use it. And you need to be aware of context. When you're looking at a comment like this, and I was looking for a particular comment here. I know I once saw a comment here that just said... That was the comment. Who indeed? To a video titled, "Who are the most powerful people in America?" You know what that's referring to. Be on the lookout for the echo. It's common enough. It's dog whistle used by white supremacists and neo-Nazis to call each other and to let each other know who they're talking about. And now you know. Another really obvious one. Now, I mentioned this on Shanley's stream, and her bot immediately deleted the message because this one is so obvious. It's 1488. Waiting for ban. This is a really important one to know. In fact, I'm going to even bring up the ADL database on this. Hold on a second. I know I linked it on Shanley's Discord, so let's... Okay, so half of 1488 is the 14 words. The 14 words is a... Probably read it right here. The 14 words is a white supremacist slogan, coined by David Lane, who is, a member of the Order, white supremacist group. Okay, we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. It should be obvious what the meaning of this is, but it's the advancement of the white race that they're talking about, obviously. But the 14 words has become so ubiquitous in far-right circles that references to 14 are accepted as references to the 14 words. And the other half, 88, is a really simple. It's a really a simple idea. HH. This might seem like a stretch, but I promise you this is the intention. That's what it means. I'm going to take that off my screen now. It means Hail Hitler. That's what 88 means. It's a very explicit neo-Nazi reference. So, you'll see this. You'll see it sometimes. And I'm going to come back to why Trump can't be re-elected soon. And spoiler alert, it's because he's a fascist. So, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. Trump campaign. Okay. So here's a recent story. Trump campaign. Facebook removes Trump ads displaying symbol used by Nazis. Let's see if we can get it. There's a picture of it, right? No? Come on. There we go. So, it wasn't just Team Trump. I think it was retweeted by Mike Pence. I think it was like also put out by Mike Pence. Team Trump, Team Trump, Team Trump. There we go. Mike Pence, Donald J. Trump, paid for by Trump, Make America Great Again committee. Yeah, so this was an official ad. So, says, dangerous mobs of far-left groups are running through our streets and causing absolute mayhem. They are destroying our cities and rioting. It's absolute madness. It's important that every American comes together at a time like this to send a united message. They will not stand for their radical actions any longer. We are calling on you to make a public statement and add your name to stand with President Trump against Antifa. Please add your name immediately to stand with your president and his decision to declare Antifa a terrorist organization. If you don't know, Antifa is not an organization, it's an ideological affiliation. Antifa is short for anti-fascist, so you're standing against fascists. So because it's not an organization, there's no membership card to it. Affiliation to Antifa can only be inductively reasoned, so you can't confirm whether or not someone is affiliated with Antifa. So you can't declare it a terrorist organization, much the same way that you can't really declare neo-Nazism a terrorist organization, because it's not an organization, it's an affiliation. It's an ideological affiliation. But that's neither here nor there. Well, we can say that because of this, declaring Antifa a terrorist organization opens up the door to prosecuting innocent people. It opens up the door to outlawing leftist protest and leftist thought, because it can all be attributed to Antifa. But anyway, red triangle. What does the inverted red triangle mean? It was a marking. Let's here's an inverted red triangle. Shut up. Red triangle. Right. So the red triangle was a marking used by the Nazi Party way back in Nazi Germany to mark political dissidents. So not criminals, laborers, or religious affiliation they didn't like, not gay men. Those were all different things. The inverted red triangle was specifically for political dissidents. Political prisoners, social democrats, liberals, socialists, communists, anarchists. All these people were marked with the red triangle. What does this ad do? This ad marks a group of political dissidents, left-wing political dissidents, and marks the ad with a red triangle. This is what a dog whistle is. And you want to know something better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The first sentence of this ad, dangerous mobs of far-left groups are running through our streets and causing absolute mayhem, is 14 words long. How many of these ads did they publish? 88. I'm not fucking kidding. This is obviously neo-Nazi affiliation. Want something better? I'll do you one better. Firefox knows when I'm trying to type this in because I've used it as an example so much. We must secure the border and build the wall to make America safe again. Not to mention that this is exactly 14 words, but we must secure is a bit too much of a coincidence. I don't know, it's a bit too close to be considered a coincidence. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, 1488. Some people will just, when they're really out, they'll just type that in comment sections just to let you know where they stand. It's an explicit white supremacist. It's a combination of a white supremacist and a neo-Nazi symbol. Next up is a bit more. I'm going to combine the next two. They're a bit more nuanced. They're a bit more. You can kind of mistake them. They're essentially the same thing. 1350 and despite. Despite, written like this, is much more of an intentional dog whistle. Because the full sentence is, despite being only 13% of the population, 50 black people commit 50% of the crime. That is what 1350 means. 13% of the population commit 50% of the crime. Despite is supposed to be the beginning of this sentence. So this is the stat, 13%, 50%, for 30% of the population, 50% of the crime. That's more or less true. The stat on its own is more or less true. But the thing about the far right is they will weaponize stats to advance a racist narrative. So 1350 has been brought up not just by the far right, not just by like fringe people like, I don't know, Richard Spencer or David Duke. It hasn't just been those people. Ben Shapiro invoked it. I am almost certain that Steven Crowder has invoked it. Because the thing about conservatives is that they do not want to admit that systemic racism is a thing. Everything has a perfectly logical explanation that isn't systemic racism, obviously. Everything has a just explanation. Because it is, therefore it is just. So, when you bring up to a conservative that, hey, the prison population in the US is disproportionately black. Black people are more likely to get arrested than white people. They say, okay, but 1350. Obviously it's just. It is that way because it is just. Because they commit most of the crime. Not, well, half of the crime. But at such a disproportionate rate that it makes sense why there would be a disproportionate number of the of the prison population, or why they would be disproportionately stopped or arrested. That's their argument. Now, this is what I'm about to say is the case for a lot of arguments with conservatives, and you can really just counter it by asking why. Now, people who are really overt with their racism will either write despite, just like this, or will just chant 1350. But 1350. Now, it is entirely possible to use 1350 in a really, in just an ignorant way. Not a malicious way, but an ignorant way. So it is entirely possible for someone to make this argument in genuine good faith. because they haven't thought about it. So when you hear this argument being made, the question to ask is why? If black people are 13% of the population, why is it reported that they're committing a disproportionate amount of the crime? There are two routes that a person could take when answering this question. There are only two ways this can go. Either the reason for this is systemic, or the person believes they are genetically predisposed to it. If anyone ever cites the bell curve to you, you know which one they're leaning towards, okay? So, and Lauren Chen has done this shit too, and she's even attempted to answer why. Why do they commit a disproportionate amount of the crime? Poverty. Okay. Impoverished people are a lot more likely to commit crime. General reason for that is that they're more desperate. They will turn to criminal organizations in order to make ends meet. If they can't get a job through legitimate means, whatever that means, but if they can't get a legal job, they will resort to an illegal job just to survive. Or they'll resort to theft, stealing bread to put food on the table, stealing money, that sort of shit. So, impoverished people tend to commit a lot of crime. So, when asked why black people commit a disproportionate amount of crime, people will sometimes say, because they're in poverty. Okay, that's just begging the question, why are they in poverty? Either it's for systemic reasons, or they're predisposed to it. You'll eventually back someone into a corner where they either have to drop this argument or they have to embrace being racist. Because this stat denotes systemic racism. This is a smoking gun for the left. But right-wing people who use it either don't know what they're saying or they are outright racist. The argument to be made with this statistic is that black people do not have as much opportunity as white people, and so they are more likely to resort to crime. What the right thinks it is either just the way it is. It's obviously just because it is. This is obviously a person who's ignorant and who doesn't take arguments to their logical conclusions that will say this. Or they're trying to argue that black people are genetically predisposed to crime. So this can be an explicitly, not really explicitly, but this can be a genuine, malicious, white supremacist dog whistle. But 1350 can also be invoked ignorantly. You know how to take it down. This should be a left-wing argument because it denotes systemic racism. It denotes that there's a problem with the system when this is the case. But when the right brings it up, it's usually for a lot more malicious reasons. You have to keep an eye out for 1350. And despite, obviously. We're going to move to a much more horrifying one, but I've seen it before. I don't want to spend too much time with it on this one because it disgusts me. Day of the Rope refers to a fictional mass lynching in the book Turner Diaries. So the Turner Diaries is a book by a neo-Nazi written in the 70s, and it depicts a fictional fascist revolution And the day of the rope... Hold on a second. Okay. The day of the rope refers to an event in the book wherein the revolutionaries, the fascist revolutionaries, do perform mass lynchings and murders. And they hang race traitors and impure people and all sorts of things. And you might think this is really... this is really outlandish. Certainly nobody's really talking about this. But... Okay... Okay, there's one. Who the fuck is this? Oh, here's Vosh. I don't know why. Oh. Yeah, okay. Obviously, it's a response to a Vosh tweet. Yeah, you just scroll enough and you'll find like genuine references to it. Yeah. Yeah, it's shockingly prominent. Granted, these are like, yeah, you know, no likes here. You know, no likes, no retweets. Obviously, it's important to mention that. Okay, 2 likes. Okay, yeah. But it's not about how popular each person is individually. It's about how many fucking people there are. They're loud. And they're angry. And it might not be a majority of people, but it is very much something to watch out for. Because it doesn't take long to find a string of genuine references to the Day of the Rope. These people salivate over lynching their political enemies. Not just political enemies. Like, it's not just their political enemies. It's just impure people, other races, other sexualities, shit like that. Quote-unquote degenerates. I wish I had a face cam so I could just do the fucking finger quotes thing. It's disgusting, and I don't even want to look at this anymore. Day of the Rope, watch out for it. Very important that you fucking... if you see anyone on your Facebook mentioning any of the things I've said so far, like using the Echo, 1488, despite, especially fucking Day of the Rope, block them. They're gone. No hope. Fucking block them. And don't just block them, report them. If you come across these things just going through your feed, block and report. Fuck these people. Get them off the internet. Next one is that I want to cover is a shockingly prominent one. It has been touted by really popular people such as, you know, Stefan Molyneux, Lawrence Southern, or an alternate name for it is The Great Replacement. White genocide, aka The Great Replacement, is a conspiracy theory that says that white people are being bred out of existence by the darker skinned folks. Do I really need to say anything about that? It's a surprisingly popular theory. And not only is it not true, but you have to wonder why it even matters. Why does it matter? Here's the fundamental thing wrong with this. Is you shouldn't care this much about race. You shouldn't care how many brown people are in your country, how many black people are in your country, in your nation, inside your invisible fucking lines that are living near you. You should just care about the content of people's character, like MLK said. You know what? I have seen so many. When I was falling down the NTSJW rabbit hole, I saw so many of these fucking right-wing people talk about this. You shouldn't care about race. You should care about the content of people's character. Care about people on an individual level. And the same people went on to promote this fucking conspiracy theory. Why? And I know what an implication of this is that people who tout this understand that being a minority is a bad position. And, you know, the system tends to be rigged against the minority. I mean, But, like, figuratively, a person who's touting this sort of thing, who's saying that you should be scared that you're being outbred by other races, it kind of implies that they think being a minority is a really disadvantageous thing, and you wouldn't want to be a minority. And if you were a minority, you would want to be assisted out of the inherent disadvantage that you were born with. Interesting. But no, that's not what they're fucking saying. They're saying that the glory of the white race is threatened. Anyone who touts this is a white supremacist. Hands fucking down. And you'll see, where's that ADL, where's that ADL thing? Yeah, diversity equals white genocide. Yeah, any affirmative action program, you know, where you have like two equally qualified candidates, one's white, one's black, you're encouraged to go with the black candidate, to have a more diverse workforce and have more representation in the workforce. Apparently, this is white genocide. Yeah. So what these people are saying is that they need white people to remain in a supermajority. They can't have BIPOCs in any positions of power. That's threatening to them because they don't believe they can handle it. Anyone who touts this is a white supremacist. And it's surprisingly popular. That's why I included it. Let's go through one more. And it's another really common one, and you already know it. Technically, the most popular one is the Confederate battle flag. It's the one that looks like this. Yeah, yeah. Technically, this is the Confederate flag, and this is the Confederate battle flag. The battle flag is used most often, probably to denote a call for revolution. But we already know what the Confederacy was. It was the split from the Union in the United States, where, you know, the North officially became the United States, and the South officially became the Confederate States. And the reason for this was the South really did not like that their property of slaves were being threatened. Slavery was on track to being banned. South didn't like that, so for the entire purpose of keeping their slaves, they seceded from the Union and adopted this battle flag. Anyone who flies this flag is honoring an organization that was pro-slavery. That's it. Either that, or they're really fucking stupid and they have no idea what they're doing. Some people say, "Oh, it's a call for revolution." I mean, technically, but the whole point of the Confederate Revolution was to keep their slaves. not a good fucking example. I mean, if you want to use the Gadsden flag, it's still pretty cringe, but it's better than the fucking Confederate flag. Are you fucking nuts? No, these people either don't know history or they're white supremacists. Ostracize anyone who flies the Confederate battle flag or the Confederate flag. Struggling to find anything else to say on that matter. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to using any of these, I would fully support deplatforming. Deplatforming is okay when, you know, when you're advocating for active bigotry, you don't deserve to have a platform. When you're spreading lies in the interest of that bigotry, you don't deserve to have a platform. So if you're touting shit like white supremacy, like white genocide, if you're saying day of the rope, like I want to fucking murder a bunch of innocent people because I don't like the way that they look, nah, fuck off, get off the internet. People, like neo-Nazis, get the fuck off the internet. I don't want them. I don't fucking want them. They're useless, they're fucking stupid, they're hopeless. They had nothing to do with discourse. In fact, the opposite. They fucking poison it. Get them the fuck off the internet. I suppose it's time to move on. That segment lasted shorter than I thought it would. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was why Trump can't be reelected. I'm already fucking exhausted. Jesus Christ, I'm not used to this. Why can't Trump be reelected? Because he is a fascist. That's why. Want examples of his fascism? Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry. If you want examples of Trump's fascism, you just gotta look at a very recent story. What the fuck is this source? OBP? What the fuck is this? OBP. I don't want to use no OPB, excuse me. That's not what I fucking wanted. Okay. Nothing. What is this? I don't know. I don't want no fucking fringe source on this. I'm not familiar with this source, so I'm gonna find another one. I don't want fucking Timcast on this. Fuck that. Democracy Now! That's a left-wing source. Can I just get like an objective source that's like documenting what's happening in Portland right now? What's this? I'm curious. pro-fascist, and unsurprisingly, celebrate Gestapo blackbagging anti-fascist protesters. Well, yeah. As a summary, a bunch of protesters are being kidnapped by unmarked federal officers. Portland. What if I change the keywords? USA Today. I'm more familiar with that. Sues federal agencies for Portland arrests as tactics are similar to similar. So I don't really want. Vice is I at least know Vice. I don't really know OPB. I don't know what that is. Camouflaged federal officers have been patrolling the streets, pulling protesters into unmarked cars and arresting them. Federal law enforcement officials deployed by President Donald Trump to Portland, Oregon, are by all accounts operating as if the city is a police state, according to multiple reports and videos. In recent weeks, camouflaged federal officers from the U.S. Marshals Special Operations Group and the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, the Border Patrol's rough equivalent of a SWAT team, have been patrolling the city, which has seen ongoing protests since the death of George Floyd in police custody in Minneapolis in May. But in recent days, these federal law enforcement officers have escalated their tactics, using unmarked cars to grab protesters and arrest them. Oregon Public Broadcasting reported late Thursday night 2 protesters said they were walking home after a relatively tame night of protests on July 15th when a minivan suddenly pulled up in front of them. I see guys in camo, said one of the protesters. Oh, one of the protesters, Connor O'Shea, told OPB. Is that like an actual thing? Is that like... Because I'm not familiar with OPB. 4 or 5 of them pop out, open the door, and it was just like, oh shit, I don't know who you are or what you want with us. Federal police have charged at least 13 protesters with crimes according to Oregon Public Broadcasting. Oh! Oregon Public Broadcasting. God, I'm fucking stupid. I didn't... Okay. I don't know. It doesn't say what this stands for. Do you have an article for that? No. Is that a public? Well, I mean, it has public in the title, but... Yeah, it's an official news source. Okay, I'm happy with that. I hadn't heard of it before. So, in the early hours of July 15, after it had been calm night compared to most protests, but by 2 a.m., law enforcement hadn't used any tear gas, and with only a few exceptions, both the Portland Police Bureau and federal law enforcement officers had stayed at a site. A block west of Chapman Square, Pettibone and O'Shea bumped into a group of people who warned them that people in camouflage were driving around the area in unmarked minivans, grabbing people off the street. So that was terrifying to hear, Pettibone said. They had barely made it half a block when an unmarked minivan pulled up in front of them. I see guys in camo. Yeah, we read this. Federal law enforcement officers have been using unmarked vehicles to drive around Portland and detain protesters since at least July 14th. Personal accounts and multiple videos posted online showed the officers driving up to people, detaining individuals with no explanation of why they are being arrested, and driving off. The tactic appears to be another escalation in federal force deployed on Portland city streets, as federal officials and President Donald Trump have said they plan to quell nightly protests outside the federal courthouse and Multnomah. Sorry, like, fuck, I just really struggled with that. Multnomah County Justice Center that have lasted for more than 6 weeks. Federal officers have charged at least 13 people with crimes related to the protests so far, while others have been arrested and released, according to Pettibone. They also left one demonstrator hospitalized with skull fractures after shooting him in the face with so-called less lethal munitions July 11th. So, yeah. The gist of this is that they are blackbagging protesters and kidnapping them. Apparently charging them with crimes that they're not even telling them about. This is full ingsoc shit. Like, this is unpersoning. This is an escalation of fascist tendencies. And if you think for one fucking second that Trump is pro-free speech or pro-freedom of expression, you're a fucking moron. Okay? If this guy got any wind that there was a way that he could outlaw this shit, he fucking would. The guy, like, even before he ran for president, he wanted to open up libel law so it was easier to sue people who made jokes about him that he didn't like. The guy fucking hates free speech. He is constantly working to undermine free speech. The way he talks about the media, and yeah, I don't fucking like CNN or MSNBC or even ABC News. I don't fucking like these outlets. But the way he talks about them, enemy of the people, fake news, even when they're reporting the truth, like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, they're not impervious to truth. They do report facts, just their opinions are misinformed and fucking stupid, but that's as far as I'll go with it. It's not fake news. They're not outright lying to you most of the time. But that's not the metric. The metric to Trump and his supporters is not whether or not it's true, it's whether or not it is positive of President Trump. The guy hates free speech. He will easily outlaw any news source that is critical of him, if he could. So since he can't outright outlaw it, he wants to morph public perception of it so that he doesn't have to destroy it. He wants the people to destroy it for him. So he frames it as the enemy of the people. That's what that framing means. That's what it's used for. And another example, we're going to go back a few years to the Charlottesville protests because it is now officially a historical event. I'm not even going to bother looking up the quote for this, but Trump said there are fine people on both sides. If you didn't know the fucking protest, please watch. Where the fuck is it? Please watch. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Please watch this video from Sean. It's an excellent video that explains step by step the events of the Unite the Right rally. And he completely dismantles all the false information from attendees of the rally that it wasn't white supremacist when it obviously was. And he makes the point in it, and it's a very good point, that it doesn't matter how many neo-Nazis were actually at the rally, one is too many. And that relates directly to Trump's remarks about the Charlottesville protests, that there are lovely people on the protesting side. No, there were not. Any lovely person, the moment they saw a single swastika or rune or black sun or the moment they saw any of that shit should have fucking dipped because it had gone way too far. No. If you see those flags, if you see Der Stürmer, not Der Stürmer, but Daily Stormer, which is named after Der Stürmer, being invoked at the rally, that's your time to leave. Anyone who didn't leave when they saw that is complicit. No, there were no lovely people on that side. This was a white supremacist neo-Nazi rally. And Trump trying to excuse them, he can fuck right off with that shit. Trump has fascist tendencies and he has a lot of fascist sympathies. He is going to poison the discourse so fucking badly if he wins another term that I don't even know if it'll be reparable. I mentioned this before, but let me try to find it again. I respond to way too many people on Twitter. I have like this compulsive need to respond to people. So let's scroll through my Twitter and try to find that thing where I think it was the first time I publicly said that he was a fascist. Oh yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier with 1488. Hold on a second. Sorry, hold on a second. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, I'm looking for... This is probably going to be really fucking hard to find. I think we're coming up on it. Come on, I gotta be coming up on it. Come on, really? It wasn't this far back. Come on, fuck. Can I... Damn it. Motherfucker, where the fuck is it? I'm so mad. I forget exactly what he was saying. Really? Was it this far back? I don't fucking remember anymore. Oh, there it is. Yeah. President warns of impeachment payback. Yeah. Yeah, so he's very interested in punishing political dissidents, and he's hyper-nationalist, he's extremely racist, and he can't be reelected. Can't be fucking reelected. It's gonna get so much worse. And, Biden or Trump? Biden. Don't get me wrong, I fucking hate Biden. Biden sucks. Okay? If realistically, like, I am still so fucking mad that Bernie didn't get the nomination. I am so mad. And I used to hold a Bernie or bust position, but I can't anymore. Biden needs to be elected. And I'm not happy about it, but he needs to be elected. And I've had this conversation before about, like, voting third party. All hands on deck, man. Biden has to be elected. And it might not feel good to vote for him, but it has to be done. You can do what you have to do to prevent fucking Trump from being reelected. Because I've heard this, oh my god, I'm getting so exhausted already. Really? Fuck off. Stupid. Okay. So here's what we're dealing with. Here's what we got. Okay. So, excuse me? Okay. You can either vote for Biden or you can vote for Trump. And there, you got, like, shit down here. Okay, hold on a second. Shit, my fucking nose. And maybe you can go down here, you can say, like, keeping with the theme. Is that how you spell your name? How to spell her name? I don't fucking know, honestly. Oh! Hello, guys. Hi, Caleb. Hi, Lou. Hi, Juggernaut. Hi, Benda. King's here. And Saint Uther. Alright, you know what you get. I'm thinking of making a new raid scene. I'm thinking of switching up my raid scenes every now and again. Oh, hi, Ginger Warrior. So you could probably, oh, hi. Hi, Sanchi. So you could probably twig what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is a bit more controversial than the server's probably used to. Right now, I'm talking about the election and why Biden needs to get elected. So I was just about to explain the concept of voter share. I can fully appreciate if that's a little out of your comfort zone, but I have a schedule. If you want to look at my schedule, the week is filled with games, just like straight gaming, chilling out. Mondays we've got Dark Souls, Tuesdays we've got Halo, Wednesdays The Witcher, Thursdays it was Titanfall 2, but I finished it, so now it's Spec Ops The Line. Fridays is supposed to be what I call Praxis Night, which is my just chatting politics night. I couldn't do it Friday night, and I couldn't do it last night, so I'm doing it today. So that's why I'm doing it right now. So Friday nights are supposed to be my political nights, where I talk straight leftist politics. But I'm doing it right now, and I'm just explaining, I'm just talking about the election. So, hi NH Captain. Thanks all for joining me. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts on political sphere, or just interested in seeing me play games and maybe delve into some philosophical discussions while I play games at some point, feel free to drop a follow. You are welcome to. You are welcome to not. Up to you. Thanks everyone for joining. When did that first happen? Oh, hello. You guys are great. Oh, you've probably moved on by now. Yeah. Oh, hi to Choicer. Jeez. Anyway. So if we go over here, we also have Hawkins. So, I'm going to mark the ones that are actually in the running to win in fucking, I don't know. What? What's your problem? What? What? Oh. That's what. It opened this up in another screen. Anyway, so I'm gonna mark them in dark green. Like puke. These... It's either these two. These two are not gonna fucking win, okay? Not gonna happen. These might be on the ballot. I don't even think they're on the ballot in all 50 states. But they might be on the ballot. They're not gonna fucking win. They're not even gonna get an electoral vote unless you get a faithless elector, okay? Not going to happen. Okay? One of these two are gonna win. The question is, which would you prefer? Because I'm really upset that Bernie isn't on the ballot. I'm really fucking upset about it. I'm all torn up inside. I fucking hate Joe Biden. But it's either him or Trump. Staying home is not an option either. You know why? It's because of voter share. So, how am I gonna communicate this? Trump and Biden are going to get votes. Obviously. So, when people say that a vote for Jurgensen or a vote for Hawkins or staying home is a vote for Trump, what that means is a vote that could have gone to Biden didn't. So you've got Biden getting votes over... Oh, shit. That's fucking huge. I don't want it that big. I also want to... Damn it. Fuck. So you could have Biden's voter share go up and Trump's go down. But if you don't vote, if you don't give these people your votes, oh fuck, holy shit. I want the eraser, not fucking, like, Jesus Christ. Or, if you just don't vote, that's fine. Biden just doesn't get votes. Trump's voter share, Trump's sheer hard number of votes remains the same. But he now has more votes than Biden. It's simple fucking math, but this is voter share. When you don't vote for Biden, you increase Trump's voter share. And I've heard the fucking argument that, oh, but if you don't vote for Trump, you increase Biden's voter share. Fuck you. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, how fucking stupid are you? Look, were you ever gonna vote for Trump? No. Is anyone abstaining because Trump is on the ballot? Do you have right-wing people abstaining from voting or voting lib or green because Trump is on the ballot? No. The Republican Party is pretty fucking well unified. They love him. See, the thing is, people who don't want to vote for Biden and would rather vote Hawkins, they're further left than Biden is. Okay? We have far left people, or even like center left people, social democrats, who are Bernie or bust and don't want to vote Biden. This gives us a pretty big fucking schism here, okay? We have a big risk of slashing Biden's voter share because they're so divided. Because everyone left of a certain point fucking hates this guy and won't vote for him. They'll vote for Hawkins or they'll stay home. Or some of them will vote for Jurgensen for some fucking reason. But on the right, everyone's behind Trump. The far right loves this guy. There are a few cases where they don't like him anymore because he went too left on certain positions. But like the far right loves this guy. And the center right and the you know, average Joe right wing people, they might not salivate over him like the far right does, but they're at least fine with him. Some people can be fooled by the GOP's fucking weird ads that are just total lies. Like, these attack ads on Biden that make him seem way cooler than he actually is. Some people might actually buy this. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of my views are scary to apolitical folks or to centrist folks. Like high taxes, people don't want to know about that. Look, if you've spent a lot of your life apolitical, but you want to vote in this election, these ads might actually fucking scare you. If you're like a little bit right-leaning, these ads, and you don't fact-check your shit, and you're easily swayed, ads like this can easily fucking scare you into voting Trump. You may not know that he's a fascist, but you might think that Biden is actually far left, or he's fallen off the loony bin, and you might just want to vote Trump anyway because he's already president anyway, and your life doesn't seem too bad, does it? So you might actually vote for Trump. The center right, basically what I'm saying is, there is a narrow share of people who actually like and are excited for Biden. You have this window where everyone to the right of it hates Biden and everyone to the left of it hates Biden. You have this little window of people who actually like him. Trump, on the other hand, Trump's the fucking guy on the right. Trump is fucking living it. He's got all the love. Everything to the right of a certain point. Everyone to the right of a certain point fucking loves this guy. He's got a much bigger window of people who are actually devoted to him. And then, of course, you've got all the other people who are fine with him, who will either be scared by those fucking ads and vote Trump, or who are traditional Republican voters who aren't keeping up with how fucking far right the party has gone, All these people are contributing to Trump's voter share. He's got very little division in his wing to worry about. Biden does. If you are left, you have a responsibility to decrease this voter share. Because all you're doing by giving your vote to a candidate who's not going to win, no matter what you might want to say, no matter who you might want to win, giving your vote to someone like Hawkins is going nowhere. All it's doing is taking away from this, and it's letting this become more powerful. That's all it's doing. And I'm telling you, you don't want to risk it. That's it. Because it's not just that. It's not just 4 more years of Trump will fucking poison the discourse and it will like plummet the country. And I'm about to get into why I'm a Canadian and I actually give a shit. But it will plummet the country into like an irreparable state of like total fucking chaos. Like the protests will just keep getting worse. He will just keep getting more fascistic. His base will keep getting more rabid. It's not just that. It's also the SCOTUS, okay? Do you really want, like, do you know what, like, at the end of Trump's second term, at the end of the next presidential term, sorry, hi Jimbo, I see you there, I'm just in the middle of a rant, and, at the end of the next presidential term, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to be in her 90s. It's not even guaranteed she'll make it that far. Do you really want Trump to get another fucking SCOTUS pick? And I've heard people saying, oh, Biden's picks aren't much better. Fuck you. Yes, they are. Do you really think, as a Democratic president of the United States, Biden is going to pick someone who's right-wing? No. Yeah, in all likelihood, like, sorry, I love the lady, but she keeps going on like this. She probably won't survive another term. You don't want Trump picking the next fucking Supreme Court justice. And it's really frustrating trying to explain this to a leftist, a fellow leftist. Yeah, she had a cancer resurgence. It's really frustrating to explain this to a fellow leftist who's like, I'm not voting for a rapist. It's like, look, the allegations are still up in the air. Either one rapist gets in office or another does. I'm sorry. It's just the fucking way it is. And look, I know that's not satisfying. I know that's really shitty. Look, no one, like, wishes that weren't the case more than me. But unfortunately, it is the case. You either get Trump or Biden. You get to choose between one of them. They're the only two choices. Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg is practically on her deathbed, unfortunately. Stephen Breyer is in his 80s. Like, conceivably, Trump could get 2 more SCOTUS picks in the next 4 years if he wins. Like, leftists have a responsibility to prevent that from happening by any means necessary. Vote fucking Biden. And why do I care? I'm a Canadian. Why do I care? Because the U.S. discourse bleeds into Canada, something fucking awful. I'm actually genuinely worried about what'll happen here if Trump gets another term. It affects me. Fucking, like, Trump gets another term, we might be at risk of getting a... If I have to pick 2 evils, I'll pick Trump. Because I'm an independent voter. Why would you pick Trump, though? What was I just saying? Yeah, if Trump gets another term, like, I don't know, we could look at the real possibility of fucking Derek Sloan being our next prime minister. Doug Ford getting another term as Ontario premier. Or worse, Maxime Bernier being prime minister or some shit like that. He has done a good job and is trying to bring jobs back to the U.S. That's a lie, that's not true. He hasn't done a good job. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. Trying to bring jobs back to the U.S.? Dude, like, more jobs were outsourced under Trump than anywhere under Obama. He's a corporatist. He's given so much power to corporations to outsource their jobs. What are you talking about? It was all rhetoric. He fucking lied. Is there anything else that he's, like, actually done a good job in? Because, well, no. More illegals. Oh my god. I didn't even mention those. Did I even say I liked Obama? I didn't. I don't like Obama. And it's really telling when you call undocumented immigrants illegals, because it really shows me where you stand. But it doesn't mean the rhetoric under Trump about undocumented immigrants has been so fucking poisonous. Like, I wonder what on earth could possibly turn you from being a Democrat into a fucking Trump voter. Trump has done more for minorities than anyone. That's not true. What? What are you talking about? That's literally not true. Where are you getting this information from? Which minorities are you even talking about? Don't even fucking buy the White House website. What? Black unemployment is down? Is that what you're referring to? Not just black, but all unemployment. If it wasn't for the virus, it would have went down more. Can I ask you exactly what Trump did to make black unemployment go down, or unemployment in general go down? Or was it just a general economic trend? I mean, it's a common thing. Like, something positive happens, attribute it to Trump. But it doesn't matter whether or not he actually did something to do that. It's just if it happened to happen under him, oh, he must have done something to do it. No. I can't tell if you're still there or if you're looking for something. Hey, if anyone wants to come on and actually, like, have a shouting match on my Discord, you're fucking invited to. It'd be great content, okay? I invite all dissent on my stream. Because I think I've gotten out of the funk on my rant about why Trump can't be elected. So if we're just extracting content from chat and people who don't agree with me, I am totally on board with that. You just scroll through Twitter looking for shit to be angry at. I'm a little disappointed. I thought I was going to be given a zinger. I thought I was going to be blown the fuck out. Alrighty, what else do we got in this treasure trove? Give me a second. Anyone has any questions about the topics listed in the stream title? Because I went over some hate symbols earlier, hate symbols and hate phrases. If you're wondering what those were, I went over Echo, I went over 1488, I went over 1350, Despite, Day of the Rope, White Genocide, and the Confederate Battle Flag. And in terms of why Trump can't be reelected, generally because he's a fascist. He despises free speech. He consistently delves into white supremacist, anti-free speech, anti-protest rhetoric. I am convinced that if he were granted the forum to outlaw protest and free speech, he would do it in a fucking heartbeat. Yeah, no. He's poison. He's absolute fucking poison. And I'm very worried about if he gets a second term, about the implications it has for Canadian politics, because American politics pretty fucking directly affects Canadian politics in a lot of ways. I fear that if Trump gets a second term, Canadian politics will continue to move right and will eventually get like a fucking conservative government. I mean, we already went down from a liberal majority to a liberal minority, which, you know, I'm a fucking happy guy if the Liberals get out of government, but not if the fucking Conservatives take government. Holy shit. I would prefer the Liberals over the Conservatives any fucking day of the week. These political streams are always so fucking short. I thought I would have more shit by now, but no. Shit. Yeah, so I suppose I'll put an open call for guests on the stream. If you hate me, if you think I'm a fucking lefty cuck, I think, you know what, next, I think I'm going to save it for next Praxis night on Friday, when I just explain socialism and explain my political ideology. I tried to talk about the police one time last time before I officially made Praxis night a thing, but, you know, it didn't work out that well. I wasn't terribly happy with it. I'd like to do a little bit more prep on that subject and maybe cover it in the next Praxis night. But, you know, we'll see where that goes. But I am putting an open call for guests. If you want to talk to a democratic socialist, it doesn't matter if you're a fucking nobody. If you don't have any audience, neither do I. So, but I'm trying to build it, and if you want to come on, shoot the shit, shout at me, have a nice little fucking shouting match, then I'm more than welcome it. I am very fucking excited to have a shouting match with some person I can't stand, or whose politics I can't stand on stream. But really, I don't want to pad this stream out for any longer than I can milk it, honestly. So, it's been just an hour and a half. But I think I'm going to end it here, because those were the topics I wanted to cover. I think I pretty well covered them. Thanks to everyone who joined. Thanks to B42 for the raid. You guys were awesome. I really appreciate it. And I'll see everyone tomorrow for a much longer stream. I haven't decided if I'm going tonight with DBD. I have not decided. I might do an extra stream tonight. I don't even fucking know. But I will definitely be on tomorrow, regular time, 11 to 3, with Dark Souls. So, see you there. Exclamation point Discord in chat to get a link to the Discord, so you're notified every time I go live. Or follow me on Twitter. Thanks everyone so much. You kick ass. Love you guys.